One day you could be minding your own business when all of a sudden the ground opens up under you and down you go. It shouldn't be that much of a worry, but nevertheless, sinkholes are a sudden and dangerous phenomenon. They happen all over the world and have different causes. But what sinkholes are the biggest and baddest? Here is our rundown of 10 giant sinkholes that will make you think twice before taking that walk. Nongol, China. Sinkholes are often linked to tragedy, but they can also lead to some beautiful discoveries. There are 3 types of holes. A solution, which happens when there's a thin soil layer covering the ground. A cover subsidence sinkhole, which presents itself gradually and is visible. Then there are cover collapse holes, which seem to happen out of the blue. In 2017, a research team from Hong Kong was checking out the hole in Nongol, located in the Guangxi Forest region of South China. It's a cover collapse hole by the looks of it. Using 3D scanning technology, they saw the sinkhole opened out into a magnificent cave hall. To give you an idea of the scale, the Nongol sinkhole measures 20 meters in length, 100 meters in width, and is 118 meters deep. The cave hall is 236.6 million cubic feet. It's a time capsule containing millions of years of evolution. A cave can take an epic amount of time to form. Sediments such as pillars and cave beads are down there in ancient equivalents of showroom condition. If that isn't extraordinary enough, then a separate area which is dubbed the courtyard is also detectable. The courtyard is 150 meters high and 50 meters wide, small compared to its 2 neighbors, but no less impressive. Experts see this as a precious opportunity to study how the Earth behaves beneath our feet, and it wouldn't have happened were it not for this enormous sinkhole. Guatemala sinkhole. 2010 was a very bad year for Guatemala in Central America. The country was battered by Tropical Storm Agatha, which created chaos in the shape of floods and landslides. Huge amounts of water from the storm had a devastating effect on the ground in Guatemala City, and to everyone's horror, a sinkhole appeared. It reportedly took with it a 3-story building and, tragically, a man's life, cutting power lines in the area as it went. As well as being approximately 30 meters deep and 19 meters wide, it appeared man-made because, oddly, it was so neat-looking. The storm had finished the job started by erosion, which was caused by factors like underground water supply and the sewer system. Guatemala City was built on the pumice of volcanoes, and that was gradually worn down over time. In fact, the area had been reminded of its volcanic past when an eruption closed Guatemala Airport only the previous week. El Zacaton, Mexico. Not all sinkholes are empty caverns. Take El Zacaton for example, which is filled with water. It's regarded as the deepest of its kind in the world at 339 meters. The hole is 116 meters wide, but that's only at the top. The deeper you go down, the wider it gets. Measuring El Zacaton is a risky business, and a NASA robot was used to explore the true extent of the sinkhole. Why NASA? Deep water environments like these give researchers insight into the surface of far-flung space destinations such as Jupiter's moon, Europa, showing them how things might develop. Experts aren't sure precisely what caused this major sinkhole in the first place, but volcanic activity, which makes groundwater acidic, is thought to be a prime culprit. The beginnings of El Zacaton are also a mystery, with historical records dating back to 1795 mentioning what appears to be the sinkhole. The thermal temperatures of around 30 degrees and abundance of water means life is flourishing in El Zacaton. New bacteria have been found down there, but it's a potentially dangerous environment. Sadly, 1 diver lost their life, and the safest way to access it is apparently via a scary underwater cave passage. Bayou Corn Sinkhole. Sinkholes aren't always a natural phenomenon, in that they can be triggered by human construction work. The salt dome mine at the Texas Brine Company in Bayou Corn, Louisiana unexpectedly collapsed in 2012, creating a sinkhole of approximately 230 meters in depth. At first, people didn't realize what was going on. It appeared to be some kind of earthquake, and residents were seeing bubbles rise up in the water. This was actually the effect of escaping methane gas after a sidewall in the mine was breached. The most shocking thing about the resulting sinkhole is that it kept on going. How come? Because the methane reserves are still there and spreading out, helping the hole displace the ground even years later. 2 years on from the disaster, it had pushed across 26 acres. Now it's thought to cover 37 acres. Trees have collapsed into it, and terrifyingly, it's sucking parts of the landscape underground. The owners of the mine are burning off methane to try to halt the progress. In the meantime, they paid out to the residents who were evacuated, and some major legal wrangling has ensued. Last year, a court decided that Texas Brine, Occidental Chemical, and Vulcan had to share responsibility for the sinkhole, which continues its path of destruction to this day. The Grandfather, Russia. The Russian city of Brzezinski has more than a slight problem when it comes to sinkholes. No less than 5 have opened up this century, and the first and biggest making an appearance in 2007. Perhaps to lighten the mood, this hole has been given the name Grandfather. Another one is called Baby. Grandfather began as an 80-meter long and 40-meter wide sinkhole, but like the situation at Bayou Corn, it just gets bigger. Another hole spotted in 2015 reportedly increased in size at a rate of 4 times in just 3 months. The Grandfather was heading towards an important rail line which would affect the export of potash, causing economic harm as well as environmental harm. Mining has played a part in all the subsidence, with the local Kama River managing to get into the underground tunnels. The city is located in the Ural Mountains, specifically Perm Krai, and mining company Uralkali are here in charge of handling the ongoing situation. Tragically, a truck driver died in 2012. This was when a hole collapsed during an operation to fill it in, near a building owned by Mine Construction Management. Residents have been moved and some building work suspended as this worrying state of affairs develops. Dragon Hole, China. Not all sinkholes happen on the Earth's surface. You'll also find some underwater, in the form of what are called blue holes. These vertical caves go down through the water, which is a darker blue in color, hence the name blue holes. The Dragon Hole in the South China Sea is around 305 meters deep and 130 meters wide, making it the deepest underwater sinkhole on the planet to date. Robots have been exploring the sinkhole since 2015, but back in the 70s, legendary figure Jacques Cousteau went down there and established how it came to be. Cousteau saw that a limestone cave collapse had led to the Dragon Hole, which is also called the Sansha Yongle Blue Hole, Sansha being the name of a Chinese city. There is another thing people call it, which is, Longdong. Jacques Cousteau isn't the only notable connection to this blue hole. The area is mentioned in the classic 16th century novel Journey to the West. Various marine species and enormous stalactites and stalagmites can be found below the surface. However, there's no oxygen past 100 meters. That means the chances of discovering interesting life forms at the bottom are pretty much zero. Devil's Sinkhole, USA. The mighty Edwards Plateau in Texas is home to the ominously titled Devil's Sinkhole. The hole is a 400-foot deep limestone chasm that was formed after the collapse of an underground solution cavity. It has been in existence for quite some time. Archaeological evidence shows remnants of Native American cultures there, which makes sense as sinkholes were regarded as gateways to the underworld by ancient peoples. Their dead could have also been laid to rest there, so this is a location of great spiritual significance. Cowboys also visited the place, but they weren't so respectful as they left stuff like graffiti behind. There are things living in the cave, and while they aren't from the depths of hell, they are quite freaky. Millions of bats, which regularly emerge in vast clouds. The Devil's Sinkhole was classified as a landmark in the middle 80s and represents an intriguing part of American history. Sótano de las Golondrinas, Mexico. This truly spectacular sinkhole is thousands of years old and located in the Sierra Madre Oriental Mountains. Check out these awesome dimensions. The hole is 372 meters deep and around 40 meters wide, though it really opens up at the bottom, which is reported to be the size of 3 whole football fields. 2-meter deep canyons exist deep down there, and so do massive quantities of guano, making it a health hazard for visitors. Sótano de las Golondrinas was first investigated in 1966 and is especially popular with free fall enthusiasts. Base jumpers have launched themselves off the rim, and some even took a hot air balloon ride down there. The drop takes 12 seconds and is not dissimilar to being in the sky. That's because the sinkhole is vast enough to have its own weather system. Clouds have been known to form up above. Meanwhile, the rainy season brings waterfalls into the hole. The name translates as Cave or Cellar of the Swallows, in reference to the thousands of birds who've made the sinkhole their home. Nesting among the ancient limestone, swifts and parakeets ascend to the heavens in a breathtaking display every morning. Crveno jezero, Croatia. The Dinaric Alps were formed from limestone, which was folded in layer after layer by shifts in the Earth's crust over time. If you think this process doesn't sound 100% stable, then you're correct. Because of the limestone breaking, cave networks opened up, the flow of an underground river that led to the creation of numerous sinkholes in the range. The Czerwone Jezero, or Red Lake, is 530 meters deep, with a lake that's around 280 meters in depth. Based near the town of Imotski, which has an astonishing 20 sinkholes in the vicinity, this major sinkhole is what's known as a karst landform. Karst is essentially land that's susceptible to erosion. The name Red Lake comes from the stain of iron oxide on the cliffs around the lake. It contains organisms that are specific to this hole, alongside creatures like fish. As one of the largest sinkholes on the planet, Czerwone Jezero provides a fascinating and mysterious natural wonder. Xiaoxiatiangkeng, China. The world's biggest sinkhole is regarded as Xiaoxiatiangkeng in Chongqing Municipality, southwest China. This ancient talking point is 662 meters deep and 537 meters wide. The name is made up of two parts. Xiaoxi is the small village where the sinkhole was found back in 1994. Tiangkeng, or Heavenly Pit, is a special type of sinkhole, one of the ultimate sinkholes, if you will. Tiangkengs have to measure at least 100 meters deep and 100 meters wide. Plus, they need to have developed from carbonated or sandstone rock. China is where the majority of these super sinkholes are found. The thinking is that Xiaoxiatiangkeng took around 128,000 years to form. Inside that hole are over 1,000 species of plant and animals you can spy down there, and they are extraordinary and rare, such as the clouded leopard. Now, we've heard of fish and various organisms living at the bottom of sinkholes, but a big cat is a whole other ballpark. The presence of sinkholes can't help but make you feel humbled about the planet we live on. They are a constant reminder both of the ancient world and the power the ground has over us despite our centuries of progress. If you like the video, then click the subscribe button and turn on notifications, and you'll be the first to know when we release a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. Tell me.